Hi, and welcome to a Microdose Diet. We're going to talk today about how rich people think, and it's more actually about belief before wealth. So, welcome again to the Microdose Diet. This is a podcast on all things personal and professional growth, using alternative therapies to do so, such as microdosing psychedelics. So, before digging in that super interesting topic of how rich people think, I want to discuss about mindset. I think it's important to remind you of a definition, because very often we believe that mindset is only linked with mental, with our thoughts. But actually, when you look at the definition of mindset, it is linked to a set of beliefs that shape how you make sense of the world and yourself. So it's about how you think, how you feel, and how you behave in any given situation. So when I refer to mindset, keep in mind that it is the thinking, the feeling, and the behaving. And I think that's very important. Most of the time we talk only about mental, and I think it's missing the point. So I love to look into our relationship with money, because I don't think there is anything more mental and emotional than our relationship with money. We peg our value to our assets. We associate our self-worth with our bank accounts. And I think a scarcity mindset is pretty much omnipresent in today's society, regardless of your real financial situation. I've seen people who had assets north of 8-figure freak out, almost in tears, thinking that their child would end up homeless. I have also heard many times that mantra, which I'm sure you've heard: money is energy. And this is usually coming from people who are the most hungry for money, who want money so bad you can almost touch it. So regardless whether you are on the spectrum, perception is reality. And I personally have felt the discrepancy many times between what my investment accounts said and how I felt and thought. And on one end, it's very difficult to have an abundance mindset when bills accumulate and you feel very tight on money. But the challenge is that it's also a chicken and egg, because this fearful approach to money can also happen regardless of your financial situation. So even if you don't need money and you're well off, you can still have a scarcity mindset and be very fearful. So it really catches you on both sides of the equation, whether you do actually have money problem or whether you don't. So it really leaves society, I would say, at large, with this really like fearful, worried, panicked even mindset when it comes to money. And again, as always, there is a spectrum, but overall, in my travels, I have very rarely met someone with a true rich mindset. And this is why I picked a great book by Siebold, which is called How Rich People Think, and the title of the podcast. I was really curious to see what, from his perspective, were the difference between two groups that he named the middle class and the world class. And he did like hundreds of interviews over the years, another one of his interviewers who connect the dots. And from his perspective, middle class, I would say middle class can be a bit deceptive, because middle class, he doesn't rank the people in that group based on their assets, but mostly based on their mindset. And I do know, and I count myself as well in that category, even if technically lifestyle is more upper class, some of the mindset is very middle class when it comes to money. And on the other way around, world class, it's not just people who are wealthy. For him, world class are first self-made people, so people who made their own money, but also people who have, I would say, a level of consciousness that is higher than the average average person. So that's an abundance mindset. That's a rich person for him, someone who has both the wealth, but also the high level of consciousness. So obviously that means all the wealthy are not rich in a Steve Siebold category. So I have to say, I really enjoy that book. It is very, very short. I would really recommend you to read it. It's very packed with information, but I will give you some insights on what I read. And I think it's going to really, make you think about what are these emotions and mental thoughts you have when it comes to money. So the author, Steven Siebold, came with 30 main differences when it comes to the world class and the middle class. And I really focused here on a subsection because I thought these were the ones that were the most interesting. And to change your mindset, I mean, you're going to see and read and listen to some comments that will talk to you, and you're going to think, wow, I would rather upgrade my mindset from middle class to world class. And I mean, changing that mindset, it's really an excavation work. But it starts with knowing what you want to upgrade. Then you need to really uproot the old programs, and then you need to reprogram with more expensive comments. And that is not an easy thing to do. So that's why if you saw my book, you can put yourself on the wait list. It's going to be on pre-order on Amazon very soon, and we're October 23rd. So if you look that in November, if you listen to that in November, it should already be on pre-order on Amazon. And my book, More, the Microdose Diet, the 90-day plan for more success, passion, and happiness, is really built on these premises of understanding where are the shortcomings, uprooting the old program, and reprogramming with new expensive belief. And we do that with alternative therapies. Of course, there is microdosing psilocybin if you are inclined to do that, which I recommend, but to each its own. But it's really based on exercise, visualization, tapping, journaling. So I would really recommend you to look into that if you want to change some of your mindset regarding money or regarding something else. So the first section that the author is referring to is world class as positive beliefs around money. And so, for example, middle class believes you have to have money to make money. World class believes in using others people's money. And at some point in my life, I managed a family office for someone who was extremely wealthy. I can tell you, he was not using his own capital to invest. Someone else was taking the risk, and he was reaping the reward. So that's something I've seen many, many times firsthand. So in the same vein of this positive belief regarding money that world class have, middle class believes that hard work creates wealth, while world class believes leverage creates wealth. So world class really strategically focus their mental energy and their efforts on the most profitable areas, while leveraging their contacts, their credibility, and their resources to maximize the results of every action they take. So it's not so much about hard work, it's more about smart work, leveraging that. Another thing that I found is very interesting, because I had this mindset as well, was middle class belief that the more money you earn, the more stress you're experiencing. And it's really this idea of equaling high income with stress. And we all have examples of corporate executives who work very long, stressful hours. And yes, they might have high compensation. They still spend more than they make. So you still end up in this cycle about worrying of, you don't have enough time, you don't have enough money available. So you still have the stress of working long hours and making quite a bit of money doing that. The world class believe differently. They believe that the more money you earn, the less stress you experience, because they think that the most stress in business and relationship is caused actually by your lack of money. So the more financial resources you have, the less stress you will experience. So I would recommend you to think about that, because I know it's something for a long time. I believe that, oh my God, if I have a lot of money, it's going to create a lot of problem. You know, like there's this big money, big problem. And I totally believe that. The second subsection of differences that the author pointed out is world class is resilient, self-confident, and optimistic. So when an economic correction occurs, both middle class and world class are negatively impacted. But world class quickly turns their attention to the opportunities, because in a society that is suddenly terrified, there are a lot of financial opportunities that pop up. And that's, I believe, our friend Warren Buffett was saying, you know, when everything is fearful, be actually aggressive. And when everyone is aggressive, be fearful, you know. So it's a bit of contrarian mindset, but it's definitely something that the author also noticed in his interview with people. Also, world class take calculated risks, trusted that they can make back any losses. Well, actually, middle class has more this lottery mindset, this home run investments. So world class invest very wisely, but they also know that the bulk of their fortune will come from the service they provide, not from a home run investment. So it's a very, very different approach. One thing that the author mentioned that I really, really like and really got me thinking is world class masters non-linear thinking. So middle class trades time for money, in alignment with the beliefs that making more money is a linear process that is connected to time. The more hours you work, the more years of experience you have, all of that means more money. Actually, world class generates money through ideas that solve problems. And because you have no limits to ideas, but also no time frame associated with ideas, there is no limit to how much money you can make, but also how much time it would take. And that, I find, is probably the biggest nugget of the book. The last thing that I really enjoy was this idea that world class really invest in themselves and they really invest in their projects. So middle class spends a very significant amount of their time and mental energy worrying about money. Well, actually, world class fearlessly, I think that's really the way to look at it, direct their mental energy toward accumulating wealth through serving people and solving problems. And so they really invest the necessary effort to create high impact solutions. And you might call it delusional when you're not looking at your real financial situation and you're only looking at what can be, what could be. But that's when you look at most self-made men, there is definitely this confidence and maybe this delusion also when it comes to allocating and investing all their resources and mental energy in themselves and in their project. And middle class really embraces advanced degrees. And that's something I also was a victim of. So they believe that formal education is the only education that will help them become successful. And when they want to make money, their companies encourage them to go back to school, you know, have an MBA, have a PhD. And when you think about it, this is probably one of the most inefficient strategy for increasing one's income. World class, on the contrary, embraces any form of education that makes them wealthier. So personal and professional development seminars, but also unconventional but very effective ways. So they could join a referral marketing or direct sales organization just to learn how to sell. And that I thought was a very, very interesting perspective from the author. So hopefully all of these points got your critical mind in full action mode, and you might even have uncovered some gaps in your mindset. So if you want to learn more, you can obviously go and check out Steve Siebold's book, How Rich People Think. It's very, very interesting. And again, if you want to learn more about my book more, it will be in the comment. You can go to my website and you can put yourself on the waitlist. So thank you so much for listening. I hope that has been very helpful for you. And for me, it was very fun to go through that and very thought-provoking. So I think it will do the same for you. Have a fantastic day. Good luck with that.